Ok, ciao Arson e ciao Federico. Stiamo in procinto di attendere l'inizio di Voices from Valisthea, un panel di Final Fantasy XVI all'interno del PAX West 2023. Ci saranno i doppiatori, essendo Voices, quelli confermati dovrebbero essere Nina Indis di Benedicta, quello di non mi ricordo come si chiama, beh, quello di porca miseria, non di Sid, di Barnabas, doppiatore il migliore del personaggio. E non mi pare che Ben Star abbia confermato. Vediamo nel frattempo se Twitter dice qualcosa. Scusate, X, non Twitter. Già loro per esempio lo hanno sponsorizzato. Ah, Voices of Clive, Dion, Benedict e Margrace. Quindi c'è anche il doppiatore di spoiler Final Fantasy XVI in ogni suo aspetto di Coso adulto, di Joshua adulto. Quindi abbiamo Clive, quindi Ben Starr, quello di Dion, Steve qualcosa, Benedicta Nina Indis, non c'era quello di Barnabas, e quello di Joshua adulto. Tra l'altro saranno inclusi spoiler per la storia principale, quindi già sanno che faranno spoiler. Non è detto che ci saranno informazioni, probabilmente non ci saranno nuove informazioni. Però il fatto che ci sia un panel e che sia stato restreamato, perché ce n'è un altro panel che parla del cosplay, e quello non sarà restreamato. Quindi il fatto che questo sarà restreamato un pochettino mi dà da pensare che almeno dicano qualcosa di interessante. Tanto stavo giocando a Final Fantasy XIV, quindi mi ci sono ritrovato. Non c'è nient'altro di interessante per adesso. Ok, mentre l'aggiornamento lo vediamo subito perché c'è solo nel sito giapponese, non quello di Evercrisis magari. Scrivo Japan, mi spunta prima il DLC, sì, il DLC, il sito giapponese di Evercrisis. Questo numero lo facciamo un po' più piccolo, che è un po' fuori scala. Ok. Se andiamo qua giù, qua, compare l'orario, 12 giapponesi, quindi alle 4. No, siamo 7, alle 5. Alle 5 dovrebbero avere questo aggiornamento che cambia il metodo di valutazione delle battle performance in arcade mode. In più la leaderboard sarà rifatta da zero, è la mia nuova leaderboard, e non sarà più registrata sull'attuale. Dettagli dell'update verranno annunciati al tempo della distribuzione, quindi potrebbe anche uscire anche altro per quanto ne sappiamo. Però per adesso hanno parlato solo della modalità arcade. Aia. Ciao Zoar! A breve ci sarà il panel Voices from Valisthea, in cui ci saranno Ben Starr e altri doppiatori. Ci saranno spoiler di Final Fantasy XVI, l'hanno detto. E vediamo se dicono qualcosa di interessante, qualcosa di nuovo non credo, qualcosa di interessante potrebbe. Mentre tra 3 ore, 4 ore ci sarà l'update della modalità arcade. Ad oggi, per fare punteggio di modalità arcade non conta la qualità della run, ma conta il fare sempre la stessa mossa. Se tu stai in un punto e fai la mossa, che so appunto parafulmine come citata, prendi un sacco di punti. Puoi stare in un punto, fare parafulmine, prendi un sacco di punti. Quindi è più facile, cioè tu fai meno danno, ma la stessa mossa prendi più punti. Questa cosa fa schifo. In un sistema di leaderboard è una cosa pessima. E probabilmente la vogliono cambiare. Mi sembra davvero assurdo che non ci siano arrivati subito, ma qui si vede tantissimo la loro inesperienza e non tanto di Suzuki, perché Suzuki in queste cose è meraviglioso, però non è lui che decide la leaderboard, lui al più può decidere il gameplay, la leaderboard purtroppo non c'è Capcom dietro. Questo dice cosa, purtroppo una sola persona non può carriare un intero sistema di sviluppo. Potrebbero vedere, però non so se lo dicono oggi. Allora, ci sarebbe anche da dire che 2 settimane e avremo notizie su Rebirth. Probabilmente anche la data. E non so quanto vogliono accavallarsi le cose. Per carità, la data non è il gioco, quindi potrebbero anche dire qualcosa su 16 e poi dire la data. La cosa è quanto può essere grande un DLC del 16, in base a cosa? Veniamo da DLC che escono uno, anche più anni dopo. Elden Ring è passato un anno e si sa solo il nome del DLC, solo il nome, non si sa nient'altro, è un'immagine. O è il DLC, un DLC da 60 euro, oppure è qualcos'altro. Cioè, all'epoca From in un anno ti faceva un gioco, ora in un anno ti annuncia il DLC. Horizon un anno per il DLC, Cyberpunk un anno per il DLC, in quel caso sono più espansioni effettive. Square dal punto di vista espansionistico non ha mai avuto, stavo pensando un attimo, ma il massimo che ha fatto è Remind con la scala con la mappa di scala. Ci dovrei pensare, ovviamente 14 escluso, grazie ovviamente, però a livello di giochi single player è Insomnia nel 15, ma anche lì non è la stessa cosa appunto di una vera e propria espansione, di quel DLC da 20-30 euro, per carità all'americana sta cosa, perché in Giappone funziona in maniera molto diversa. Vediamo, il punto è se ci sarà l'effettivo DLC, se sarà DLC e basta in mappe già conosciute, o se sarà DLC su mappa nuova, cioè su cosa dare una priorità, sulla mappa o sulla storia. Gameplay diverso, personaggi diversi, bisogna vedere. Ci sono tante cose nel 16 che non va, micro cose che nel 16 non vanno. È quella tipologia di storia che superficialmente è bellissima, ma appena cominci a mettere i puntini sulle i noti tantissime crepature, ma non, cioè, non proprio ogni singola cosa che vedi una crepa, ogni cosa. Ed è un peccato, perché sono cose stupide, cose facilmente risolvibili. Però non l'hanno voluto fare, quindi i problemi ci sono. In quel caso i codici pro, aiuto, i codici pro sono una espansione del gameplay. Parlavo più come espansione di luoghi, come Burning Shores per esempio. E i codici pro sono dei modificatori di difficoltà che permettono di farti rivivere appieno il gioco, però la mappa è la stessa e il gioco è lo stesso. Ed in quel caso è più il bilanciamento del gameplay in sé. Le aree di Intergrade ce l'hanno l'idea di espansione, però comunque sono strette, sono piccole. Non sono ste Midgar è praticamente riciclata, la parte iniziale e la zona della Shirra che è un po' differente. Ma lì l'impegno è in Vice. Il prezzo di Intergrade è Vice. E il fatto che ci sia il gameplay di Yuffie, che è nuovo, tra l'altro base del gameplay di Rebirth. Infatti su questo Square si è sempre concentrata più sul gameplay che sulle mappe nei suoi DLC. Ha sempre avuto questa preferenza. Se si vedono i DLC anche del 15, Episode Gladio, nonostante la mappa sia nuova, è il gameplay la cosa veramente nuova, il gameplay di Gladio, il gameplay di Prompt e così via. Mamma mia che paura, mi sono spaventato tantissimo. Me lo metto un po' più forte e io me lo metto un po' più piano. Ok, 100, tanto sono pochissimi in attesa, beh, ovvio, è una cosa, Square non l'ha pubblicizzata minimamente, non ci sono i developer, ci sono solo i doppiatori. Ora spunta Yoshida a caso. No, ma probabilmente il team del 16 o Yoshida Takai stanno lavorando adesso al 14, perché da Takai no, Yoshida sta lavorando al 14. Tra l'altro mi ha fatto un sacco ridere, c'è stato il documentario di Final Fantasy XIV 3 giorni fa. La prima persona che hanno fatto vedere è stato Takai. Cioè in tutti gli eventi del 16 hanno fatto sempre solo vedere Yoshida. Per una volta che si parla del 14 fanno vedere prima Takai. Quando fai una storia in cui inserisci una presunta divinità, nel caso specifico ultima, in cui devi dargli un metodo di sconfitta, cadi sempre in qualcosa di non concreto e lì solo la narrativa può salvarti, non più la storia. Per esempio, Bleach è l'apoteosi del farti un nemico invincibile. Bleach praticamente ha solo 2 nemici in tutta la sua storia ed entrambi sono invincibili e vengono sconfitti con dei power up impossibili da non da concepire, sono assurdi, ma è così, cioè Bleach vive su quello. La cosa bella è l'assurdità con cui si arriva al power up, se uno lo vuole definire bello. Per esempio, il primo è bello, il secondo no. Ciao Peppe Pillo. Ma poi non l'hai cambiato più il nome, l'hai lasciato così. In realtà è perché la seconda serie, che poi è quella che stanno facendo attualmente su Disney Plus, quella di Yak, l'ho letta una volta sola, quindi non me la ricordo bene, mentre quella di Aizen l'ho letta 2 volte. Ma tutta la parte di Aizen mi è piaciuta, ma sono tutte forzature. Bleach è tutto forzature. Ma a un certo punto te la giustificano pure. Ti giustificano le forzature in Bleach. E lì devi capire che stai leggendo una storia in cui le forzature fanno parte della storia. Se è così lo accetti e lo leggi. Se non è così non è il manga che fa per te. È un po' come One Punch Man. Devi accettare che Saitama è invincibile. Se no non va avanti, per quanto One Punch Man anche come progresso narrativo è bellissimo. Cioè One Punch Man poteva essere un manga solo satirico e sarebbe stato perfetto, mentre sono riusciti a fare qualcosa di bello anche a livello di progressione narrativa e di storia, e non era minimamente dovuto. Con che musica truzza me lo stai dicendo? Che tutte le musiche che potevano mettere. Ditemi com'è la voce, ditemi se mi sentite. Se sto sto modulando la mia voce verso il ribasso involontariamente. Magari sentite più forte l'audio e così via. Sì, più che nobilitare è dare un senso al metodo di... Cioè, è come dire, se c'è qualcosa in un certo modo, io prima voglio comprendere il motivo per cui in un certo modo. Anche la mancanza di bravura nella scrittura può essere un metodo di vendita, se così vogliamo definirla. Perché non è sempre la qualità a vendere, è la bravura nel vendere a vendere. E la cosa più importante è sempre vendere. Sempre. Cioè, se uno mi dovesse dire Bleach me lo consigli, devi accettare che il manga ha le forzature. Che ci sono, che non ha la progressione da shonen liscia. Per carità, partito? Che partito? Rimaniamo con un per carità. Per carità. Ma l'audio è bassissimo qua. No, ehi. Oh, che fastidio YouTube.
Hey everybody!
Jade.
I am Michael Christopher Koji Fox, the localization director on Final Fantasy XVI, and welcome to our panel today, The Voices
C'è la maglietta Hellfire.
Is that my name? Yes. Okay. So,
Lui è arrivato ora a piedi dal Giappone. Uno?
there are going to be a load of spoilers in here.
Tanti spoiler.
That has not played the game yet.
Se avete giocato il gioco e non vedete,
I'm going to give you 5 seconds to leave the
vi
room.
do 5 secondi per andarvene.
4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Elwyn dies, Joshua dies, then Benedicta dies, Joshua comes back to life.
Aspetta.
Barnabas dies, Benedicta dies. Did I say Joshua dies? John then comes back to life, and okay.
Ha detto...
I warned you.
È da ripetere sto pezzo.
Okay. Number 2.
Numero
As
2.
you all know, Final Fantasy XVI is rated M for mature. Which means
Ok, ci sono cose mature. Ok.
in the game.
Ok.
Which means there may be a lot of spicy language.
Però magari aveva detto la risposta sul fatto che Joshua alla fine rimane vivo o meno. Magari... Però ha detto Joshua dies, Joshua risorge. Però non ho capito se ha detto se Joshua risorgeva la seconda volta. Che potrebbe aver risolto il sistema... Il problema del finale. Qua è importantissimo quello che c'è scritto qui. Devo
our
zoomare con
amazing
l'intelligenza
voice
artificiale.
talent. Are you guys gonna come on? No, you're not gonna come on. There they are.
Eccoli qua. Ben Star. Gli altri non l'ho mai visto in faccia. Anina Indis, certo. Sì, no, Coci Fox è una bestia da palco. Poi, essendo tra i pochi inglesi nativi di Square,
Hello. All right.
ci si familiarizza maggiormente rispetto a una lingua come il giapponese.
That was my chair. That was my. You've all heard that, right? That was my chair. That was not me. That was not me.
It made a
was the
fart
chair.
noise.
This is what I have to deal with. Like all of voice recording. Just,
Ah, shit, fuck.
all right. So,
Ma qua stanno dicendo brutte parole,
let's,
shit fuck.
for those of you who don't know, these guys, let's get you to give us a little bit of a self-introduction. Tell us who you play in the game, who you are, and maybe a little something that no one, or maybe few people know about you.
Cose che poche sanno, di loro.
Thinking about this quite hard. My name is Ben Starr. I play Clive Rossfield in Final Fantasy XVI.
Sexy Clive. Oh, no. Not yet. Not
Dato
yet.
c'è il timer a terra, quindi tra un'ora finisce. Ciao Liam.
Know about me, and if you do know this about me, that's strange that you do. When I was a kid, when
successo,
I went to
bro?
the toilet, I would pretend to present a television show. And so every time I went to the toilet, I would present a television show that I made up. It was a chat show, so there you go, take that home, and if you knew that already, why?
Ok, queste sono cose, se le capite anche a tradurle mi...
Wait. No. Not yet. Not yet.
Oh, that's me. That's me. I'm not. Oh, yeah, that guy.
I know you're anxious.
Yeah. Okay. Hi, I'm Stuart Clark. I voice Dion Lesage. The Crown Prince of the Holy Empire of Settembre, and also the Dominant of Bahamut.
Ok.
Yeah. Okay. Something about me. I was lucky enough last night to meet Gerard the Completionist, which was
Ok,
fantastic.
vabbè.
He did a fantastic one-man show down at the Crocodile, which we were.
Ora
lucky
qui nel
enough to
frattempo
do.
parla di
Where is he
altro.
there? Yes, Gerard.
Qua beh, sono molto
And it
più
was so lovely to meet Gerard.
scialli
But basically, I
attualmente.
just had massive beard envy the whole time, and it made me go, I want a beard, but I've never had the opportunity to have one in my life. So something
Let's
about me,
see.
from now I'm making that promise. I would love to see myself with a beard.
Così, per adesso stanno parlando del più e del meno.
Okay.
Yeah.
Tra l'altro lui di recente è più presente nei social anche.
Hello. My name is Nina Indis. I play Benedicta Harmon, Dominant of Garuda in Final Fantasy XVI.
Se solo
And
avessi
I was
avuto
really
qualche ora di
struggling
lavoro in
with
più
this
tu.
question, like something that no one knows about me, and just right before we came up, I was like, okay, I need to figure something
Di avere
out.
il coraggio di uccidere un personaggio, ma anche il coraggio di utilizzarlo come si deve. Ma questa è un'altra storia. Queste sono le cose che avrei voluto, non le cose che migliorano il prodotto.
Zoom in on the neck.
Oh yeah, there's the camera. Okay. That's a weird one. You can take that home. You're welcome.
Cose belle, mostrare la bocca rana che sa fare.
And
Oh.
finally, last but not least,
Margrace, Joshua.
for the first time
beh.
in an official event, we have
Jonathan Case, I play Joshua Rosfield.
yes.
Il personaggio preferito di Kalandor.
Art is the first time we revealed this art, so anyone watching the stream, I'll allow you 5 seconds to furiously screen cap. Go. All right.
Beh sì,
enough.
Oh, my fun fact, I am the proud owner of a pet axolotl. Her name is Mrs. Salad, and she misses me. If you're watching the stream...
ora bisogna vedere in un'ora di cosa parlano.
I hope you're okay.
Perché per adesso, ok, hanno detto
Wonderful. She enjoys
le loro cose.
watching things.
È bella questa
Okay,
immagine.
well, thank you
Quella
very
di
much
Joshua
for taking the time
adulto
to introduce
è la prima volta che si
me.
vede
It
l'artwork
appears
di Joshua
that
adulto.
But,
Perché lì c'era Joshua bambino
I'd
in
like
quell'artwork.
to thank you for coming today. We actually have a special gift for the four of you from the development team.
O c'era, non me lo ricordo.
So, This is totally not just for free advertising for official Final Fantasy XVI merchandise, available on the Square Enix webpage.
Ha detto c'è qualcosa da parte del developer team. Un regalo da parte del...
Clive Rosfield ear cuff. I'd present this to you, Clive Rosfield.
So much.
Can you please put this on?
Yeah, I'll put it on for you.
Thank you.
Ok, alla fine ero
Let's see. For
l'orecchino là che... Ciao Peppe!
For Joshua, we also have the Rosfield ear cuff, but it's the pendant. So for those of you who are not into ear cuffs, we also have the pendant version. We give this to you, all right? And for, of course, Benedicta, we have the Wings of Promise, the pendant that Sid.
Vabbè, qua siamo nel momento marchetta.
Promise. The
Yeah,
promise
put that
he
on.
never kept.
All right.
Okay, just sorry.
And for Dion, we have.
Nothing. We have
We
nothing.
have another Wings of Promise, and everything that kind of implies story-wise. If Sid also gave.
So wait.
So yeah,
So canonically, Dion also has a Wings of Promise?
he does now.
Okay.
I mean, there was that
Wow.
time that Sid snuck into.
How about
Settembre,
that?
and maybe
a game
it-
of hide and seek in Settembre, eh?
Sì.
Okay.
Thank you.
So while you
Okay.
guys are putting this on, I want a little bit about what.
Tanto il
the
microfono
panel
lo
is about
salta.
today. So,
Allora,
first off, we're going to talk a little bit with the.
question to the panel about the character and the experience. Ci sono special announcements alla fine.
Maybe some of the
Special announcement alla fine.
Next, we've gathered some questions from the Q&A, and so we'll be answering those.
Potrebbe essere interessante quella parte finale.
Special announcements that you will definitely want to stick around for.
Quello potrebbe essere interessante. Oppure potrebbe essere un fuoco di pa...
All right. So now that everybody is sporting the merch, again, available for purchase exclusively on the Square Enix website. Not that that's important or anything.
Tra l'altro, community Q&A sarà con l'aiuto di ospiti a sorpresa.
Question.
Chi sono
Now
questi
that the
ospiti a
game has been
sorpresa?
out for 2 months. Tell us how you feel your character has resonated with you.
Come senti che il personaggio abbia risuonato con te?
Fan reactions that you can recall. And let's, we'd normally start with Ben because this is the first time that Jonathan Case.
Ok.
And so the day is yours. Let's start with you.
Nel frattempo mi giro un Twitter
I
a
mean,
distanza.
this whole thing has been amazing. Like, I knew a long time ago that I would be sort of spoiler shrouded for the release of the game, at least. So,
Infatti è la prima volta che esce l'artwork di Joshua.
he's compassionate, full of contradictions, kind, an amazing brother, I think.
Di Joshua per forza è nuova, perché Joshua grande non ha mai avuto
Have you had
un
better?
artwork.
Yeah.
Benedicta è quella della rivista.
Okay.
È quello che c'era nella rivista.
I mean,
Già erano uscite all'epoca tutte queste di tutti e 8.
amazing.
Ciao Sisco, grazie per il rinnovo.
Standard of spoiler keeping. I had people like DMing me being
Posto su Spread Knowledge l'artwork di Joshua sotto spoiler.
so I just seriously
Rilasciato.
thank you for doing the bit. It's a pleasure to finally not have to.
Sì, certo. Dimmi com'è.
All right, yeah, what about you, sir?
Non
I mean, this is
traduco
also your
perché
Well,
vi parlerei di sopra.
Yeah, it's been what happened.
Cioè,
it's
se
been
non
2
capite
months,
qualcosa in inglese in caso
Yeah,
devo fare, però
2-3 months.
preferisco che
It's
lo
just-
sentiate
it's just
voi
been the
in caso.
greatest pleasure to play Dion this
Meno che non c'è qualcosa di interessante,
To then
effettivo.
have that character go out into the world.
No,
and
che è
obviously,
in-
I mean,
è in diretta.
He's so cool. He's so cool.
In diretta
He is
non possono mettere sottotitoli, a meno che non è Microsoft.
Noble, brave, honorable. He's the dominant of Bahamut. But aside from that, he is also canonically queer and very, very unapologetic
Okay.
about that fact. And so many of the
Basso la mia
interactions
voce,
that I've had
così
with people speak to Dion, speaking to
diamo
them,
più priorità a
and the
loro.
relationships that he has in the game, speaking to them, and the fact that he is there and unapologetic about his presence has spoken to so many people. So I love that, and the fact that I am a small part of that, of more people seeing themselves, is just I don't know. It's a great source of pride. So it's been so wonderful. So thank you for sharing with me and. Aside from that, though, the greatest thing has been just so much chat about backstory. Like the amount of people who just want to know what the remembrance ceremony was. Have you had that? Have you had people wonder?
Yes.
Yeah. Koji, what is the remembrance ceremony?
Yeah. So it's this ceremony about
There was a clown.
remembering
There was a clown,
things.
right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah,
Balloon
we
animals.
will get to that maybe at a future date. Maybe, supposedly. Talk a little bit about that. Not today, though. Not today, though. Nina.
Yeah, I mean, I second Jonathan and Stuart. It's been overwhelming. The response has been amazing. I mean, a lot of my cutscenes were published pre-launch. So I had a lot of DMs and people messaging me before the launch, being super excited about exploring Benedicta's journey. And so I was really curious to see how people would respond, because she's more of like a villain type, and you never know what the response will be for these characters. And I've had some really amazing messages where people tweet me and they're like, Nina, I'm really sorry. I really like you, but I think Benedicta, she's a handful. I'm not sure if I'm gonna like her. And I'm like, yeah, it's okay. Just let me know what you think. And then by the end of her arc, they finished her arc, and they're like, oh my God, I really feel for her. I feel sorry for her. Like, I want to know more. And it's been so nice that people resonate with her, even though she can come across a bit cold and stuff. But there's, don't judge a book by its cover. There's always a reason why someone becomes the way that they are, and I feel like people are seeing that in Benedicta, and it's been great.
Nina,
Thank you.
hai ragione, però l'immaginazione non si va da nessuna parte.
All right. Last and certainly not least, Ben.
So, when we started on this journey, I thought that everyone was going to like Clive for his tenderness, his emotional rawness, his ability to access the deepest, darkest recesses of his emotion. And I really tried to push that in a lot of the early marketing. We really spoke about, how much I really want, his personality to resonate. But let's all be honest, everyone. If we are being brutal, the two things
Technically, yes, the two things.
that have resonated with people are his
non è
chest.
sospetto, come dice. Scusa, sto parlando delle tette di Clive. Never have I seen the like. And it's not just his chest. It's his waist. It's his arse. Because it's quite well documented that I do watch people stream the game, and believe me, I have watched you all. I have watched you all pause the game. I have watched you screen grab pictures of his crotch. To your thousands and thousands of viewers, you are shameless, and I love you all.
That's your answer.
That's my answer, Koji.
Okay. That's going to make it really hard for me to segue, because I'd like to talk a little bit about, for me, this experience and working with all these great voice actors. I'd like to talk a little bit about having the opportunity to work with the late, great Stephen Critchlow, who some of you may know as Edmund de Fortemps in Final Fantasy XIV. But definitely know as Uncle Byron in Final Fantasy XVI. But as you may or may not have heard, Stephen tragically passed away during the recording of Final Fantasy XVI. And at that time, I remember thinking, not simply how we're going to replace this very irreplaceable voice actor, but I was really sad for the fact that we had all of these great performances that no one was ever going to get to hear. And I thought that, that was just, it was a waste, because he had put his everything out in the studio, and we had these great scenes, and no one was going to get to hear him, because we would have to recast. I remember you got the opportunity, because we did some ensemble recording where we had two people in the booth, and I think, the Madhu scene?
Yep.
That was you and Stephen in the booth together.
Stephen and I were together for the great chemistry that Clive and Byron have. was born out of these sessions that we had together. And I remember being in the booth with him, and he was infectious. His energy was unlike anything I had seen. And every time I'd come out of the session just feeling completely rejuvenated. And he is an amazing man and has Byron energy, and was truly, truly wonderful. And so when we found this out, it was incredibly tragic. But I also remember, because the Final Fantasy XIV community is so passionate, I remember that you all held vigils outside of his house. And I remember kind of recording some of them and sending them to the team, being, please can you pass them on to Stephen's family, because it just shows how much the Final Fantasy community cares, and how much he's truly loved. And his performance lives on in Final Fantasy XVI.
Because we wanted to preserve that. And we didn't want to just, you know, throw it in the bin and recast someone new. So we tried to think of some way that we could preserve that voice. And you know, we had conversations with his family. And we kind of came up with this idea that we were going to try to find a voice double for him. And that if we were able to find one, it would have to match his voice perfectly. It would have to kind of honor that performance. And if we didn't find one, we were going to totally recast. But we were able to find one in the great Ewan Bailey. And he had this voice that was almost exactly like Stephen's. And it kind of blew us away, because when we heard the audition, we were like, whoa, this is it. But it turns out that Ewan Bailey was actually a longtime friend of Stephen, had worked with him for decades. They were best friends. And so Ewan knew all of Stephen's mannerisms and his quirks, and so was able to like kind of draw on those same things that Stephen drew on to recreate Uncle Byron in his voice. And so we were able to bring those together and kind of blend them seamlessly. And so that's why they're both credited in the game, because both of their voices live on. There is some of Stephen there, and there's some of Ewan in there as well. And so, you know, Stephen's probably watching us from up there. You kick ass, man, and your legacy is going to live on in Final Fantasy XVI.
Essendo che Byron non è stato sponsorizzato, forse anche per questo non è nei trailer. Potrebbe essere per questo che non è stato presente nei trailer.
Let us move now to the next question. I think, do we have the next question up? I'm pressing the button, and like no new questions are coming up. There we go. So, I would like to ask you a little bit about next, the audition process. Did you recall any special moments or memorable moments from your audition process in the game? I know it was a long time ago, like 4 or 5 years ago. So, to help you remember, I've brought some clips of your actual auditions from 5 years ago. Let's roll them.
Le audition, che hanno un nome italiano che non mi viene attualmente.
So the North is lost. It is only a matter of time before the twins are no more. The world marches ever towards its end, and here we chase shadows. Tell me, brother, is our endeavor in vain?
You will find a girl there. I owe her my life, and I always pay my debts.
10 anni.
You are to see that she is provided for. I would not ask this of another, you know that, don't you?
È un hotel. Questa lui aveva postato una
Please! I don't care if it's a dream. Just give me another chance. I can protect you. I am a defender of Rhoderia, and I will do my duty.
È appena uscita di casa.
You've not aged well, Cyrus. I like my men with a bit more stamina.
Sarebbe stato bello anche vedere altri. Però c'erano loro, ovviamente.
A bit more stamina.
Yeah, I mean, no, I prefer Little Lambs, to be honest.
Cioè, considerando che
I've been dreading this,
2017, 5 anni fa,
so
2018,
I've been asked the
2017.
question about how was the audition process
Il primo
before
trailer del
in interviews.
2020 era
And
pubblicato
I've
la
just
foto.
gone like bragging. I've been like, yeah, it was amazing.
ben
I
stardi, quando
walked
hanno iniziato
in
i
and I
provini.
got an
Come se la trovo.
applause after I finished the audition. Literally, I have said I got an applause after I finished the
You
audition.
did say that.
I did.
So could
say-
everyone right now put your hands together for Nina's incredible performance?
Oltre 4 anni fa, ed è
Wow,
pubblicato ad
I mean,
aprile.
manifestation really works.
Yeah,
I've just been living my dream. I think because watching this back, I don't feel like that is an applause-worthy audition. I'm jumping. Like that's terrible technique.
And the
If
thing
you're
is,
a
you were
voiceover
jumping in
actor-
all of them. That's like only 5 seconds of about a 20-minute audition. Every single one, you're like, yeah.
Which is awful because as a voice actor, you know you're not supposed to jump because the microphone will pick that up. So yeah, I'm to be fair really surprised I got the part. You guys must have thought, what is she doing? Yeah, thanks for that.
You're welcome.
Can we just talk about Stuart's beard?
Yeah.
It was a different time. It was a different time. I was in Fiddler on the Roof, 2019, and I grew a massive, massive beard. Yes, but looking back now, I had totally forgotten. I had totally forgotten that this is how I auditioned for Deal Massage. With a full man bun and massive beard. I'm also like, everyone got a cool room. Where was my cool room? Where was my black room?
Yeah.
I remember one thing from the audition process was when the brief came through, it said that, I can't remember if this was on the audition or if it was coded or what, but it was like dominant of...
C'è il ventilatore che
it
magari
didn't
nel
say Bahama, it said
silenzio
like
può
dragon
sentirsi
creature
più
or
forte.
It wasn't, I think it wasn't dominant. We called them
Demonites.
demonites.
Right,
Yes.
right.
Ooh.
And I
then.
just remember like obsessing over like, what's my dragon voice going to be? Will he sound like this? Or like this? You know, and I just spent ages being like, well, they're gonna want something different. They're gonna want something different when he's in dragon form. And I did it. I did a line. I was like, you will not defeat me, or something. And they were like, so Stuart, we're actually just going to use your voice for the, and then they might put a little filter on it, but you don't need to do a dragon. And I was like, really? Are you sure? But hey, it worked. It all worked out.
It was my first video game audition I'd ever done. I was like, okay, I'll go. And, you know, reading the lines on the Excel spreadsheet in front of you, like, squinting, being like, who are the twins? I guess I'll talk about them. But I didn't actually audition for Joshua initially. I was called in for a character called Clint. And I didn't get it.
Did you not?
No, I didn't get it.
Who got it?
You did.
I did.
My agent was like, they've actually given you an offer for a much smaller role. And I was like, okay. It was amazing.
How young do you look? You look so baby.
Yeah.
How young do we all look?
Yeah.
Like this
It's like something stressful happened between now and then.
Yeah, this has really taken its toll on us.
Also, if people are watching this on stream or at home, you won't have noticed this, but when my audition came up, the first thing people did in the room was laugh. Like, honestly, if you're watching at home, I was like, oh, I'm giving such a fantastic performance. People were laughing at the way that I looked.
Sto cercando di vedere se...
Guys, I was acting so hard.
Clint non viene nessuno in mente.
But like for some of us, like this is the first time we'd ever read some of these lines because we weren't auditioning for a lot of these parts. So we're coming in and we're just given it and we just went, let's just go for it. But you can see, like, yeah, the code names are different, but the writing's so emotional that you just kind of knew what to do with it. And also, I want to give a shout out to Morgan Rushton and Hannah Price, who were in the room at the time, who like just the work that the entire team have done over this whole process has been incredible. And obviously, Koji, we wouldn't be here without you. So thank you for that. But yeah, it's such a blast from the past watching that back.
Thank you very much.
Very
Thank you. Okay, now that we have these 2 questions done, we have some questions that we've gathered from the social media formerly known as Twitter.
Domande della community.
And, but rather than have me present those questions,
Ci saranno gli special guest che
we're going to
faranno
leave
le
that
domande.
duty to some other memorable voices from VALISTHEA. So
gli
let's
altri
roll
doppiatori.
the first question.
Gli altri doppiatori faranno le
Hello
domande.
Seattle, it's Christopher York here. I play Gav in Final Fantasy
Il
XVI.
migliore.
You may know me from such lines as, this place reeks like a mobile's ear-hole, and care to tell me what the F your dog just did? And many other lines with many other profanities. This question comes from Icon Rami, and it's for everyone on the panel. I connect well with characters if I associate lyrics and songs to them. do you guys have any songs, lyrics you associate with your characters? So,
Che è successo?
a little bit of Joshua all night long, a little bit of Benedicta, here I am, a little bit of Clive makes me your man. Ha!
But he didn't get the memo that he was able to say, you know, Marbles asshole.
Yeah, he really didn't want to swear,
He didn't want to swear.
I'll
I mean,
for him.
my favorite...
Fuck.
No, but like, my favorite line from Gab is, fuck me!
Fuck me! Yeah. There's a lot of swearing in this game, but I think it's tastefully done.
It's tastefully done, definitely.
Yes,
I mean, it's not every character either, because, you know, we do have some characters that do not swear at all, because it's not their character. Jill doesn't swear. Dion the Bold.
Oh, absolutely not.
Absolutely not. I mean, it's too noble. Would you?
Too noble.
But could you swear for us now, though?
In Dion's voice.
Greetings and salutations, you fucks.
Questa se è montata d'arte potrebbe diventare un problema.
Oh, it felt wrong.
Why am I not offended? I'm just not offended.
It was naughty.
Okay, let's answer the question. So we have well-connected, you connect well with the characters, you associate lyrics or songs to the characters. So you do that with your own characters.
Yeah, mine, I've got two. One is a song called Godspeed by Frank Ocean and James Blake. The James Blake version is the one that I would listen to often when I had to get into kind of like an emotional scene. And if you haven't listened to it, please do. It's just a beautiful piece of music with very meaningful lyrics. But the more important one is every time we would finish a side quest or a quest in general, it would often be Clive saying, all right, or something like that, or thank you. And nothing kind of adds a great full stop to that, like the Golden Girls theme. So, so Sam Papworth, our audio engineer, and Fred Proud would often just, every time he'd be like, thank you, Karen. And then it would play, thank you for being a friend. So that, please, feel free to mod that in when you have the time.
Yeah, and I love this question. I do this with quite a lot of acting jobs. I feel like it's just always so potent to connect music with emotion. Obviously, you know, but I was thinking, I was listening to a lot of the Phoebe Bridgers album that came out in 2020. So I was listening to that on my commute into London to do the recordings. But I was thinking about the lyrics question. And there's the new Boy Genius album has just come out. There's a song called Not Strong Enough.
Okay.
And there's a lyric that repeats, which is always an angel, never a god. And I was thinking about this in bed last night, and I was like, that's so Joshua, like being, you know, I mean, flying around.
Strong enough.
But also like, kind of being, you know, not subservient, but he's got such empathy, such capability for empathy, and he doesn't take the center stage very often. And he was a child who had greatness thrust upon him at a young age where he was much too young, I think. And I felt that little lyric was quite poignant, powerful. Great song as well. The whole album.
A way better answer than the Golden Girls theme, I think. Thank you.
Well, we're not comparing.
Still canon though, Cody. Still canon.
Still canon. Stuart?
Well, I actually asked whether I could play a video that was tagged in yesterday for this. I can't do it, but I retweeted just before I started this panel. There was an animation by Unleveled Nate, which was to Jump for My Love by the Pointer Sisters. And it's a full animation of like Dion and Terrence.
Ah, sì, l'ho visto.
Do you know what? Just go watch it. Just go watch it.
It's absolutely gorgeous.
I can't hype it up enough. It made my week.
La storia di Dion animata.
So, okay, so we can't do that. So
we just did that.
Instead, okay, I want you all to picture we're in the tent, the war tent, with Dion and Terrence, and Dion is just thinking. He's thinking about the past. He's thinking about Oriflamme. He's looking at his arm, and he's so many things to tell him.
L'ha fatta diventare un musical.
How to make him see the truth about my past? Impossible. You turn away from me. And Terrence, he's holding back, he's hiding. But what I can't decide, why won't he be the prince I know he is, the prince I see inside? And then the dragoons are, and can you feel the love tonight?
Non continuerei prima che
Didn't look too far. Yeah, and that helped a lot. That helped a lot with my characterization.
And of course, during that scene, Dion was in shorts, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
And they rode up. They rode up horribly. Yeah.
Oh my God, wow. I'm not going to go up and sing the songs that I would warm up my voice with before recording Benedicta. That was amazing. Well done. So good. So I would always drive into the recording sessions, and because I live in like a block of flats, my neighbors hate me when I try to warm up my voice. Like being an actor, voiceover artist, having neighbors in a block of flats is not a good idea. So the only place that I could really warm up was in my car, and so I'd like blast. These are not fitting songs for Benedicta, but this is what I would sing before the recording sessions, like Christina Aguilera and like Sia, and I just belt out these songs, which I'm not going to attempt to do right now, because no one wants to hear that. But if I was to choose some music that I feel like captures Benedicta's essence, I feel like I would have to go like Nordic heavy metal.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's this amazing Norwegian heavy metal band called Dimmu Borgir, which Dimmu Borgir, yeah, they are amazing. And so if you listen to Puritania by Dimmu Borgir, I feel like that really captures like Benedicta's inner turmoil. So check it out. Yeah.
All right, thank you. All right, let's move on to our next question. I wonder who it's going to be this time.
Hi guys, I'm Susanna Fielding and I play Jill in Final Fantasy XVI. So sorry I can't be there today with you guys. I hope you're having an amazing time. I am thrilled to be part of this game and I love playing Jill. So thank you all for the amazing response. It's been quite overwhelming how much people love the game and how much people are connecting with both Jill, Clive and all the characters in the game. I have loved playing Jill from the very beginning, when I didn't even know that it was Final Fantasy XVI. I just knew that I was in a video game with two characters called Jill and Clive, and me and myself and Ben started playing these characters together. And 5 years later, here we are, the game is ready, and it's been unveiled to everyone, so it's super exciting. I have a brilliant question that I'm going to answer for you guys. This question comes from Bastian and it's for everyone on the panel. Hi everyone, love the game. The voice acting and story was superb. Can some of you share where you drew out some of these emotions and were they tied to personal stories? Great question. I suppose for me there's always has to be truth in the performance. So even if it's like a difficult scene which is really emotional, that you have to find your version of that comes from a real place. And so I might think back to things that have happened in my life that can influence that and try to tap into a real feeling rather than acting something. And I think that the players can feel that the acting is coming from a real place. And it's more like a movie really than a computer game. So I'm really, really proud of the acting and I'm glad that it's kind of hitting people in the way that we'd hoped. So I hope that answers your question. Have a great time, everyone, and take care. Bye.
Take care.
Aw.
Okay.
So, Jill, Susanna has asked you about what are some of these, how do you draw out emotions when you're acting your characters in game?
Puoi condividere come hai fatto uscire alcune delle emozioni, come sono legate alle storie personali.
You're drawing on real emotions, you're trying to make it truthful.
Come hai espresso.
And I actually quite like carrots, so yeah, that was tough.
that was the toughest thing.
No, I mean, look, like I find the sibling relationship is I think it's quite unusual, especially to have two brothers who are so able to show each other how important they are to each other, And I think sibling relationships in real life are incredibly poignant, and I wasn't, I don't want to say it wasn't difficult, but like, I love my siblings, and like, to draw from that and the sort of how powerful that bond you have with your siblings is, yeah, I thought about that a lot when I was recording the game, and that really helped.
I mean, get serious. I've kind of not made any mystery of like my relationship with all of the emotional stuff that Clive goes through and what happened to me in my life during this process. Those who don't know, my father passed away through the recording of this game. I last spoke to him when I was recording this game, on the way to recording it, and there is so much of him in this performance, and I have tried to speak about him as much as possible, because I think grief is something so particular to each person who goes through it.
Però
And
se
I want
davvero
people
solo
to
perché
feel
sul
like they
posto
should
non
be
capisco
able to
perché devi
speak about this sort
streamarlo,
of thing, because it is just
perché
so
come detto
fucking
l'altro
hard.
panel, quello
And everyone on this production
cosplay non verrà
was so
restreamato.
incredibly kind to me during that, because we were
Per
deep in
carità,
it. We
magari
had to
c'è chi si
get
lega
stuff
ai
done. We had to
doppiatori e
keep
vuole
moving,
comunque
and I
sapere
just
di
said,
più
I'm
da
sorry,
loro.
I've got to go away and write my dad's eulogy, and I've got to bury my dad, and I've got to do all this stuff. And everyone was like, fine, we'll down tools. And I remember I had to give the eulogy at my dad's funeral.
separatamente.
And then 3 days later, I had to come in and record a scene where I would be at Elwyn's grave.
Quanto è troppo
And
impersonale,
it was
troppo
hard. It was
informale.
very, very hard, because you're talking about a man who is the most amazing man that you've ever met and means so much to you. But what I will say is, through every step of the way, I was supported, I was loved, I was held, I was told that it is okay to not be okay. And what's been so beautiful about this is how raw Clive's emotions are. Like, it is ugly, it is unfiltered, it is disgusting. It is like the worst part of ourselves laid bare. And that's how I felt. You know, when I found out that my dad had died, sorry to get serious, but I kind of want to talk about it. I made the most remarkable noise. I don't know if anyone's done this, but I just screamed. And that grief is a very strange thing to kind of deal with. But it is something that I feel comes across in Clive, and it comes across in the way that he feels for Joshua. It comes across in the way that he feels for everyone, Sid, his own father, loss in general. And the fact that this game platforms a character who shows that in the rawest way is important, and it isn't held inside. So thank you to everyone who's reached out, but thank you for writing it. Thank you for everyone who supported me. And that's what I want to say about it. So thank you.
I mean, wow, that's so beautiful, and also so brave of you to feel like you can channel those emotions in front of people, in front of colleagues that you work with. It's not easy, and what you've done is incredible, and it really shines through in the game. Like, you've done an incredible job, so like, thank you for doing that. Yeah. I think being an actor is amazing, because you have a safe space to have an outlet for your emotions and what you're going through. It's almost, I've kind of been talking about this before, but especially if you're doing emotional, difficult scenes, you have a safe space to actually do that, and it's quite therapeutic. It's really therapeutic. If anything, it's much better to get that out than to hold it in. So I absolutely love doing that. I feel like with Benedicta, especially, like, she has some very emotional, high impact scenes, which for me were truly, really therapeutic.
Sul personale.
There's sometimes, especially if you're playing characters from fantasy worlds, it can be quite difficult sometimes to really know how to relate to the character. You know, Benedicta can summon Garuda powers. Like, I wish that I could summon Garuda powers, but I can't. It's not something that I can sort of relate to, really. So for me, very often it also works to just use my imagination and imagine, like, what would it be like if I was in this character's shoes? How would I feel? Yeah, so it's a mix of drawing upon real emotions from what has happened to you in your life, and also just using your imagination and trying to, imagine what does it feel like to summon Garuda powers? Like, I want to know. Yeah.
Totally agree. Totally agree. It's definitely like a mix, isn't it, between using. Well, I think in any role you play, it's always a version of yourself. I think however transformative the actor, however much prosthetic they wear, there is always a big core of yourself that then you bleed into the rest of the character. But also there is the imagine section. But I think for Dion, the bit that really spoke to me was the relationship with his father. I'm not saying that my relationship with my father is the same as that, but I have had relationships with people who have changed whilst I've known them, and relationships with people who, it was one thing and then things have happened, time has gone by and it's become something else. And it's that real difficulty of acknowledging the relationship you had and the feelings that you had, and also knowing when maybe it's time to move on from that, or to speak out against it, even to voice those feelings. And I think that turmoil that Dion has with the trying to uphold the honor and the duty, but also recognizing that something has gone horribly wrong and not wanting to speak out of turn was something that I found really fascinating to investigate. I mean, there's a line he says, which is when Joshua was saying, do you think it's Ultima? And Dion says, no, for better or for worse, my father speaks his own mind. And I think that spoke to me, because I'm like, gosh, that's it, isn't it? It's wishing that you could explain something so complex away with magic, but it's not that easy. It's not that easy. People do change, sometimes not for the better, and you have to deal with those consequences.
That was a great answer. Thank you. All right, I think we have one more question from the community, and so let's roll the third question.
Hi everyone, my name is Charlotte McBurney, and I'm the voice of young Jill. I'm so sorry not to be with you guys in person, but I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed those early scenes with Jill, as well as, of course, the incredible work that Susanna Fielding does as Jill in the rest of the game. I have a question for the panel. This question comes from @TacoRoyalty. The question is, if you could voice any character other than your character, who would it be?
Dare la voce a
I
qualunque
hope you guys have
personaggio
a
eccetto il
fabulous
tuo.
rest of your time at PAX West,
A chi
and
la
send me
daresti?
loads of love. Bye!
Yeah, we ran out of money, so we couldn't get her answer, but we're going to get that from these guys. So, if you could voice any other character than yours, who would it be? We'll start with maybe
Gli hanno
John?
sparato.
It's hard. I mean, honestly, probably Dion. He's so complicated and just full of dark and light, and he's twisted, he's attractive, he's scary, he's kind. He remembers me from the remembrance ceremony.
So hard. So much remembering.
So much remembering.
Wouldn't want to get your fingers burnt.
I think he's a wonderful character, and it would be a pleasure to play him. Yeah.
And you?
I'd love to have a crack at Nectar.
Nectar, il Moguri.
Well, we're gonna need to hear your Kupos.
No,
then.
I'm fluent.
Per il Moguri. Pensavo avessi sentito male.
What have I done?
Would you like to stand?
Could you sing it for us?
Bravissimo.
Which obviously you totally understood, right, Ben? And it translated roughly
No one's said that swear word yet, and I don't think we should say it.
No.
Nectar, don't be so fucking rude.
Ma qua se estrapoli le tracce vocali fai un gioco a parte.
What about you, Nina?
My choice would be Clive.
C'è
That was my impression of Clive.
c'è un
Sorry, Ben.
problema.
Everyone did an impression of Clive. I would come in and I would hear like temp track of every single actor who's done a version of Clive. And it'd always be, hi, I'm Clive.
You know, he's got a very sexy, husky voice.
Thank you, it's just my natural voice.
Yeah.
This is put on for people. I normally talk like this the whole time. So my character would be, there is a character in a side quest called
Hai caduto l'orecchino?
Please Purchase on the Square Enix store. Get them now, they're going fast. I wanted to voice this character. I remember coming in and doing the side quest and thinking, why am I playing Clive? Why am I not playing this character? And his name is Yakim, and he is in Boklad, and he gives you a mission where you go and you do like the history of the area. And it is voiced by an actor called Peter Policarpou, and his character sounds like this. Oh no, look at me. My name is Yakim, and I want to go on a journey with you. Ooh. And I remember doing the quest thinking, why the fuck am I Clive? Yakim is the best. And he'd be like, oh, I'm in some scrapes, never mind, let's go. And I was like, Peter Policarpou gives what I think is a Game Awards winning performance. So please, this year...
And Jeff, the BAFTA goes
to...
too.
The BAFTA goes to... Jeff, if you're considering anyone, it's Peter Policarpou's Yakim. It's
Devo rivedere il registrato, perché l'ho visto qua.
But, yes, go on.
Okay. So now that we've talked about those roles who'd like to play, it turns out many of you actually auditioned for different roles than the ones you ended up with. Ben, we talked about how you actually came in for Tiamat.
Yes.
And then got the role of Clive. Well, we have your audition, so let's take a look.
No.
You all know the target. The demonite Shireen, and only the demonite. We do not question orders, we follow them. Try to keep that in mind. Do you think our fate will be any different from Brent's if we return without Shireen's head? I'll take my chances with the Iron Blood. At least then I might die fighting. After you do, that is. What the hell are you doing? Wake up! Look around you! Take ahead and help us with these bastards!
I should have got that.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't get that as well.
What a farce this game is.
But no, seriously, I mean, we saw that and we thought, yeah, maybe not for Tiamat, but this guy is kind of good. Maybe we should bring him in for something else. And that kind of, we literally gave you a different Excel sheet and...
I remember, so our colleague and friend Morgan Rushton talking about this, and he was saying how it was like the intensity of that, but then it was kind of a cross between that and then me in between the takes. So he went, oh, maybe Ben can, read for those. And it was that moment when, it was the silence and then go and read for Clive, and then you saw what happened with Clive.
Okay, so while we're on the subject of what ifs, we also have Stuart. You auditioned for Sir Tyler.
I don't know, no.
Roll the video.
No, not
Show us the beard. Show us
the beard, man. No, he's there again. I can't
It must
look
be gratifying
away.
to see your student making such a name for himself. The young lord has a bright future ahead of him.
Non lo prendono per il personaggio grande.
I never thought I'd see it.
Lo prendono per quello minore.
Goblins in Roderia. We should get moving. We don't want to be caught out here after dark. If we set off now, we can still reach Phoenix Gate before nightfall.
It's a good look. It's a good look.
Your Highness, I did all I could. But their numbers were too great. Their forces have taken the capital.
There we go.
It's an astonishingly good beard. It's an amazing beard.
Contagious. Actually, if you touched it, you got one.
Yeah. It's an amazing beard. And now we have the most mind-bending of all, Jonathan as young Clive. Roll the video.
When I joined the ranks, everyone thought I was a spoiled little lordling. If I didn't know how to handle a sword, I'd be a laughing stock, the Archduke's firstborn failure. You're the one they really believe in. I'm jealous.
Aww.
Tutte le frasi che aveva il bambino sono finite.
It's weird that they didn't give it to me because I did it exactly the same as you did it.
Yeah. Actually, you did it better than I did it. I was like, yeah, why am I Clive? Why are you not Clive? It's amazing how young you look, but I think, listen, we've all been ridiculed here. We look like the idiots, ha 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 ha. But there's one person who's sitting next to me who has yet to be ridiculed. Now, if you're deep in the Final Fantasy XVI lore, you'll recognize that there is a boatman called Obolus. And yes, the performance of Obelus is outstanding. But imagine what it might have been like beforehand when it was voiced by a different actor. An actor who has a little bit of experience, but wants maybe a little bit more exposure. Who has dreams of treading the boards and thinks they might try their hand at some video games first.
Yeah.
Koji, you voiced Obelus. In particular, one line.
One line?
Yeah, and it was in the game for a while.
Yeah.
And then it got cut.
Yeah.
And revoiced.
And revoiced.
Would you like to see that right now?
Absolutely not.
Roll the videotape.
La sua audition di Obelus, ok.
It's over, lovebirds.
Ah, ma è il Caronte, ok. Dopo sta frase,
Yeah.
e l'hanno tagliata.
So,
how long did that take you to do?
You know, I mean, as long as it takes you guys to do a line. I mean, how long does it take you to do, like, a line?
Probably about a minute.
One time I said one word for about 15 minutes.
Okay, right.
It was like...
I was thinking Obelis.
Anyway, moving on.
It took about 40 minutes.
Could you do it for us now again?
Ride's over, lovebirds.
Oh, he's gone Aussie.
Ride's over, lovebirds.
What are you buying?
Vai, la citazione.
Stranger.
Call that a knife?
Koji, I thought that was phenomenal.
Thank you.
You're
Thank you.
welcome.
Thank you. All right, that's enough of that. A big thank you to everyone who submitted their questions. So now we only have about 6.5 minutes left, so we kind of have to power through this next portion. We have some announcements, very special announcements. So hold on to your, what does this say? Hold on to your torgles.
Ancora non sono usciti da noi.
Okay, so first up, boom, we have the special announcement for Theater Rhythm Final Bar Line. Tracks from Final Fantasy XVI will be available for download on November 1st, 2023. For those who don't know, Theater Rhythm is a cute Final Fantasy-themed rhythm game available on the PlayStation 4 and the Nintendo Switch. A demo with 30 songs is available to play for free. It's available now. Originally, we announced that we were going to be putting in 8 songs from Final Fantasy XVI, but supposedly the dev team couldn't decide, so they decided to add 11 songs for the same low price. And what is that low price? $5.99 US and/or euros. And the songs are also included on the Season Pass 3. So if you already have that, then you're going to get those songs. And we have these wonderful songs: My Star, Hide, Hideaway, Sail, Forbidden Seas, Away, Control, Titan Lost, Ascension, The Riddle, Logos, Find the Flame, No Risk, No Reward. Could be yours. Call now. The thing is, though, My Star, I mean, how are you going to play that without crying?
Ma Star come la fai? Piangi mentre la fai.
Okay.
That is a really good impression of Susanna Fielding.
Questo l'1 novembre si porta in diretta, già si sapeva.
Okay. And so we hope you enjoy the collaboration when it comes out, so please look forward to it. Next up, for our second announcement, we have a very special video message from a very special someone who couldn't be with us today because he's checking Final Fantasy XIV things. So hold on to your butts, play the video.
Yoshida.
皆さんこんにちは。ファイナルファンタジー16プロデューサーの吉田です。16の発売から約2ヶ月ちょっと経ちまして、世界中さまざまなプレイヤーの皆さんからたくさんのフィードバックいただいております。そしてゲームプレイの配信等々もですね、世界中本当にいろんなところで行っていただいて、皆さんのリアクション、もちろん開発チームのみんなもしっかりさせていただいております。本当にたくさんのリアクションいただいて我々力を入れて作ってきたので本当に嬉しく楽しくさせていただいています。そこでですね、まあそれに関してちょっとお礼というのも
Ma si sapeva, ma oltre l'arcade c'è altro?
あるんですが、本日ファイナルファンタジー16無料のアップデートを行わせていただこうと思っています。このアップデートの内容は主に大きく2つあります。一つ目はグライムスキンフェイブの武器、それのスキンチェンジという機能を追加させていただいております。 スキンチェンジとは何かと
hanno
申し
messo
ますと、
il
プライム
glamour.
が装備して
C'è
いる
di
武器の
tutte
性
le
能は
cose
そ
che
のまま
potevano
に、
mettere, hanno
その
messo
見
il
た目
glamour.
だけを任意の他の武器の見た目に切り替えることが可能になるという機能です。そしてもう一つ、コスチュームチェンジというのは、
I vestiti
だけ
alternativi.
ではなく、
Hanno messo i
そして
vestiti.
トルガル、アンブロシア、さらにジョシュアのコスチュームというのを一つ追加させていただきますので、こちらにデフォルト装備と切り替えて楽しんでいただけることが可能となります。
Vestiti alternativi e il
こ
glamour
の
dell'arma.
無料のアップデートですが、この公演以降ですね、順次世界中でダウンロード可能となりますので、そちらのアップデートを適用していただければ、すぐに使用することが可能となっております。
Non ho capito bene questa cosa dei vestiti,
の武器のスキンチェンジ機能と、それから各キャラクターのコスチュームチェンジという機能を使ってですね、さらにバリステアの世界を隅々まで楽しんでいただけると大変嬉しく思っております。そしてまた、新規でゲームをプレイする皆さんのためにですね、さまざまに寄せられたフィードバックの中からさらに操作モードを追加したりとか、細かいアップデートと同時に今回行わせていただくつもりですので、ぜひぜひまだ未体験だという方はですね、これからプレイステーション5を手に入れたら、どんどんファイナルファンタジー16プレイしていただけると嬉しいです。改めまして本作ファイナルファンタジー16をプレイしていただいたコミュニティの皆さんからのですね、たくさんのフィードバック、感想等々、拝見しております。その中でも特にこの世界の物語、それから各キャラクターの活躍をもっと見たいというふうに言っていただいていることもあってですね、現在開発チームではもちろんちょっと有料にはなりますが、2種類の DLC の開発をスタートさせております。そして改めてですね、今回プレイステーション5専用でリリースさせていただいておりますが、PC 版というのを望むお声も非常に多くいただいておりますので、改めましてここで正式に PC 版の発売に向けて開発に取り組んでいるということも合わせて発表させていただければと思います。いずれの DLC も PC 版に関しても、年内にはまた改めて次の続報をお出しできるんじゃないかなと思っておりますので、ぜひ両方とも、引き続き楽しみに、お待ちいただけると嬉しいです。以上ファイナルファンタジー16プロデューサーの吉田でした。本日はですね、コウジとそれから素晴らしいキャストの皆さんとのパネル、お楽しみいただいて本当にありがとうございます。これからもますますファイナルファンタジー16盛り上げるためにいろんな活動をやっていこうと思いますので、どうぞこれからもよろしくお願いします。それでは。
So yeah, not only a free update available in like 4 hours, but finally we're getting that paid DLC. Do you want to talk a little bit about the DLC? Yeah, no, we're not going to talk about the DLC. So we can talk about the DLC, the available update tonight. So let's give you a little bit of recap of what's going in that.
Allora, vediamo se c'è una bella immagine riassuntiva.
Got it. The button. I'm pressing the button. I'm pressing the button. Okay, there we go. So, first off, we're going to get new outfits for Jill, Clive, Torgal, Ambrosia, and Joshua. There'll also be a weapon skin feature, so you can change the skin of your weapon to any weapon that you have in your inventory. If you like to use Invictus all the way up to Ultima, you can. And then finally, we have some additional improvements to lots of different parts of the game. All this information is going to be up on the website, so you can check it out later. But again, rather than just talk about this here, we actually have a short video showing you this stuff, so let's play it.
Ciao Walter. Ok, vediamo i vestiti. Quello di Clive è bruttissimo. Quello di Jill è bellissimo. Questo non mi piace. Questo è bellissimo. Torga mi piace di più questo qua. Per carità è la skin di ferro. Questa è una stronzata. Ambrosia c'ha la bard bruttissima. Figo, ma ok, c'è la patch notes. Ora la vado a prendere.
Woo! Out now. It says it's out now. The game is out now. The demo is going to be out in about 4 hours, 8 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. Yay!
Non hanno parlato di quell'update, di quello arcade.
All right. So that brings us, I think, to the end of our panel. Does that bring us to the end of our panel?
It does.
It does. We hope you guys enjoyed it. It's been a lot of fun. get to learn about all of these wonderful voices of VALISTHEA and the passion that you brought to the project.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you for everyone for coming and being so supportive of all of us. I think that it's not often that we, as English voice actors, get to talk with a Japanese company, essentially, and be so forward in that. And I want to thank everyone for being so supportive and of all of us. It's been an amazing ride.
Capire che tipologie di delle ci sono. Che c'è?
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for joining us.
Stiamo cacciando.
Thank you for joining us.
Yeah.
My wounds boy. So thank you to everyone, all the fans out there, all the people who continue to support this game, all the people who've reached out to us as a group of actors, as a dev team. You're all amazing, and thank you, Koji, for this. You are an amazing human being. You are so professional and lovely, and thank you for being amazing. So.
Thank you. Thank you. All right, so please look forward to the DLC releasing tonight at 8 p.m. And as well as more announcements that we have in the near future. So let's give our voices of VALISTHEA one big last round of applause. Thank you very much. Thank you, and have a great rest of the pack.
Vediamo se hanno aggiornato il sito, almeno quello giapponese. Ce l'avevo già qua aperto fortunatamente. Qua è finito? Sì. Fuori. Allora, vediamo se nel sito giapponese hanno già aggiornato per il free update. Sì, alle 8:30 dovevano staccare. Mi sa di no, mi sa che ancora c'è solo la pagina, se non ci sarebbe stato scritto settembre. Ok, vediamo Twitter, magari già su Twitter c'è qualcosa in più. Che meraviglia. Allora, questo però mi serve quello in inglese. No, quello in inglese ufficiale mi sa che ancora non c'è. Vabbè, per adesso condivido. Ah, eccolo, c'è. Perfetto. Questo lo condividiamo subito. Allora. Infografica delle tracce presenti nel 15° e ultimo DLC di RHITHM Final Bart. Originariamente sarebbero dovute essere 8, ma ne sono state aggiunte altre 3. FFXVI TFBL. E questo è uno. Poi free update. Voglio vedere se c'è qualcosa nel sito inglese, perché loro hanno detto vedi sul sito inglese. Io vedo nel sito inglese, che devo fare? Però mi sembra strano che annuncino che c'è, che aggiornino quello inglese e non quello giapponese. Questo è quello italiano. Dubito altamente che aggiornino quello italiano, proprio a prescindere. A parte che non c'è neanche una pagina patch. Non è N? UK? Sì. Infatti ancora non c'è niente qua. Era Na. Comunque sì, ancora qua non vedo niente di nuovo. Torniamo in quello giapponese. Non da qui, ma da qua. Di solito quello giapponese lo giocano tempo 1 minuto. E basta. Però ancora non c'è niente. 19 giugno, 6 luglio, 25 agosto. Forse aggiornano questa pagina. Vabbè, le notizie le abbiamo, cioè le immagini le abbiamo. Alla fine sono contento di averlo visto in diretta. C'è il trailer dell'update. Condividiamo il trailer. Poi iscrizioni. Ho scritto 15, no, ho scritto 16. Eccolo qua, free update showcase video. Qua ve lo faccio andare nel frattempo, tanto dura 1 minuto, nel frattempo lo scrivo su Spread Knowledge. Party! servirebbe tutto il... C'è un'arma nuova, cioè hanno messo la spada cipolla. Ma l'hanno fatta vedere, eh? Quando fa tutte le armi. Zio, non l'avevo vista. C'è la spada cipolla. Non l'avevo vista, poteva essere qualunque cosa, però l'hanno messa solo per glamour, spero. Non penso che abbia anche statistiche. Mi servirebbe le patch notes. Che fastidio. Mi mettete le patch notes, porca miseria. Ho messo scusate la poca professionalità. Continua a scrivere su Square. Oltre alle migliorie premesse di un update che avrei lasciato per oggi per Final Fantasy XVI, darà la possibilità di cambiare l'aspetto delle armi e modificare. Non la sto scrivendo granché bene, beh, è sempre. Sono le 2 di notte anche per la mia testa. Ha rilasciato oggi un update 1, update maschio. Un update Final Fantasy XVI che darà la possibilità. E PlayStation non mette più i change notes. Su PS5 non ci sono più le patch notes, solo su PS4 le puoi vedere. Più che altro hanno detto le metteranno quando uscirà qua. Però le volevo prima perché non aspetto le 4. A meno che... Vabbè, nel frattempo controllo da qui. Se c'è qualcos'altro. Riesce ad oggi un update per fare... Ah, sì, ok. Vabbè, sì, certo, nei... Dici tipo su blog PlayStation. Però quando esce, e quello il fatto è quando esce, e mi interessa adesso perché non aspetto le 4. Esce da oggi una teoria che darà la possibilità di cambiare l'aspetto delle armi senza modifica delle statistiche, aggiungendo anche l'aspetto della... La Ognuno Sword in italiano è spada cipolla, e per forza perché, sì, metto Ognuno Sword, quando abbiamo il nome italiano completo, lo cambiamo. Trailer. Aggiunto anche un nuovo vestito per Clive, Jill, Ambrosia, come si chiama il cane? Torgal e Joshua adulto, ma lo mettiamo tra spoiler. Grazie Square che non me lo sdogani ancora. L'update conterrà anche nuove personalizzazioni per il controller, le migliorie alla modalità arcade già annunciate e altro, in attesa delle patch notes. Ok, per adesso questo lo posso condividere così. FF16 update, e qua metto, prima l'ho pubblicato, ora mettiamo i grassetti. Non si fa mai così, prima si controlla e poi si pubblica, ma capite che Ambrosia, Torgal, ok. Poi devo prendere le cose che già avevo preso da arcade. Sarebbe stato stupido da parte loro bruciarsi l'update solo per la modalità arcade, ma è stato stupido annunciarla a pezzi. Avrebbero dovuto fare tutto in una volta. Che cacchio ho fatto? No, che cazzo ho premuto? No, non mi ha preso il link. Fastidio. Un attimo solo. E questo. Copia link. Torno qua, premo CTRL K. Oh. No, non mi devi copiare questo link. Copia link post. Ok. Ok, ora ci siamo. Ok. Però mi ha tolto, ma mi ha messo prima il messaggio che il trailer. Metto trailer sopra, così. Perché Telegram in queste cose è stupido. Quello che metti prima vince. Ok, frattempo vediamo se c'è qualcosa di diverso nelle patch notes. Questo è il trailer? È il trailer, no, pensavo fosse un link a Square, a Square famosissimo. Facciamo un altro F5 sul sito. Probabilmente alle 4 usciranno le patch notes, però io non aspetto le 4. Un giro rapido su Reddit me lo faccio. C'è qualcosa? News, free update. Direi di no. Link non ce ne, mi interessano solo i link. Non ne abbiamo, non ne sai più di me. Ok, ultima cosa, il DLC a pagamento. Mettiamo una bella immagine di Yoshida. Forse il video l'hanno pubblicato anche separatamente o l'hanno messo solo su Twitter. No, ma non doveva uscire, dove andate? Si è messo iscrizioni. No, l'hanno messo solo su Twitter. Allora, lo riprendiamo. Prendiamo un'immagine a caso. Per quanto quella migliore è quella che già ho pubblicato, quella in cui dice 2 DLC a pagamento. Già Twitter me l'ha fatto scomparire. Mi serviva un'immagine, vabbè. Paura, mi sono spaventato.
こんにちは、ファイナルファンタジー6開発チームでは、こちらはちょっと有料にはなりますが、2種類の、DLC。
Ok. Ok, e infine annunciati 2 DLC a pagamento e allora hanno parlato di maggiori informazioni entro la fine dell'anno. È ufficializzato lo sviluppo per la versione PC. Verranno date maggiori informazioni entro la fine dell'anno. FF16 DLC. Ok. Annunciato il DLC a pagamento ufficializzato lo sviluppo per la versione PC. Aspetta, non l'ho scritto benissimo. Sviluppo per la versione C di Final Fantasy XVI. Non è scritto comunque benissimo. Non mi sta piacendo come lo sto scrivendo. Ah, è stato scritto 2 DLC a pagamenti, quindi fa capire anche. Lo facciamo più formale. Durante il PAX West, un messaggio pre-registrato di Yoshida ha confermato lo sviluppo di 2 DLC a pagamento per Final Fantasy XVI. Ecco, così più professionale. In più è stata ufficializzata la più che lo sviluppo della versione PC. Lui ha detto in un altro modo. Porca miseria, devo metterlo muto. Parti. Dipende chi lo fa il porting. Non parte. Uno ha fretta e non parte. Se il porting lo fa Square non partirà. Cioè proprio non è che non andrà, non parte. Tra l'altro non ha neanche il microfono, è registrato a presa diretta. Ufficialmente annunciata la versione di sviluppo. È stato ufficialmente annunciato lo sviluppo di una soprattutto faranno come Final, spero, come Final Fantasy XVI, 15, DLC e versione su PC che esce lo stesso giorno completa, come con la Royal Edition. Ok, così ha senso. Ora mi piace sto posto, dai. PAX West lo mettiamo in grassetto, Yoshida lo mettiamo in grassetto, no, anzi è già in grassetto, invia. Posto così, dai. 2 DLC a pagamento lo mettiamo in corsivo. Ok, così a livello notizie siamo coperti. Facciamo l'ultimo giro qua, si hanno aggiornato. Hanno aggiornato. Ragazzi, non c'è un'informazione che questo la vostra time schedule molto precisa. Tra l'altro c'è, allora, bisogna vedere quanto è grande tutta sta cosa. C'è da dire che prima della fine dell'anno, allora, adesso diranno la data di, stanno intervallando un po' le cose. Adesso diranno la data di Rebirth. Inizierà la campagna marketing base di Rebirth. Entro fine dell'anno, informazioni sui DLC e sulla versione PC del 16. Poi esce Rebirth. Poi escono sti contenuti. E poi esce Dawn Trail. C'è un intervallamento di roba che spero non si mangino a vicenda. Ok. Però avrei voluto capire questa cosa dei 2 DLC. Saranno 2 DLC piccoli, un DLC diviso in 2, 2 DLC... Cioè, 2 DLC a pagamento possono essere anche il Bloody Palace a 30 euro. Questa stronzata. Cioè, per far capire, possono essere anche 2 DLC stupidi. Quindi, boh, vediamo. Va bene. Ok, alle 4 esce l'update. Appena esce l'update, stavo facendo lo scarico, me l'ho disinstallato Final Fantasy 16. Quindi non posso scaricare niente. E vabbè, prendo le notizie e le informazioni, le metto su Spread Knowledge, magari scrivo anche la news nel diary. Va bene. Ok. Alla fine diciamo che le informazioni ci sono state. La risposta della gente vuole sapere più del mondo di VALISTHEA. Sì, ma sono cose già premeditate. Se entro la fine dell'anno sti contenuti già li annunciano, cioè se escono entro, faccio l'esempio, giugno, già li avevano decisi i DLC. Se escono tra oltre un anno, sono solo dovuti ai feedback. Sono quella tipologia di DLC che loro li tengono in saccoccia. Se vedono che c'è riscontro, li fanno. Quindi già hanno l'idea. Il punto è, sono DLC narrativi, ma come li strutturi? È quella la cosa. Possono essere anche DLC narrativi, appunto, ma da un'ora all'uno, anche quelli del 15 sono narrativi e durano un'ora a testa. Cioè 2 DLC possono essere Episode Seed 3 minuti e c'è 5 euro, Episode Benedicta lo stesso. Servono maggiori informazioni, ma è quello il punto, servono maggiori info. Per adesso sappiamo che ci sono i DLC. Oserei dire anche GAC, grazie al però ok. E poi è sicuro che uno è su Leviathan, perché l'aveva detto. Aveva detto che avrebbero detto maggiori cose su Leviathan, quindi uno è su Leviathan sicuro. Lo vediamo. Vediamo come se la giocano. Ripeto, per adesso non sappiamo niente ed è tutta speculazione. Vediamo come se la giocano. Ultimo giro. Ok, non capisco però, ok. Sì, no, ma Leviathan già l'aveva già confermato, tra virgolette. Va bene. Alle soglie delle 3 di notte, ripeto, le info ci sono state. Sono anche più di quanto pensassi. Io già con l'update gratuito ero soddisfatto. Invece hanno detto più di quanto dovevano dire. Mi spiace che hanno fatto solo l'annuncio e non vere maggiori info. Ma vedremo più avanti come se la giostrano. Io vi ringrazio per avermi fatto compagnia in quest'ora tarda. Non, ripeto, fosse stato un panel semplice, magari chi se ne fregava, invece è stato comunque una bella cosa anche viverle insieme. Anzi, mi spiace per un po' essere stato zitto, perché parlavano di cose anche non importanti da tradurre. E comunque hanno detto la cosa più importante di tutto, ossia il DLC di Afridium. Del resto chi se ne frega. Va bene, io vi ringrazio per essere stati presenti. Come al solito, se la vi è piaciuta, iscrizione, like e condivisione. spread the knowledge, che è sempre la cosa più importante, e noi ci vediamo alla prossima live. Bye bye.